You gotta mind me, man. I'm a little testy right now. I may have mentioned this earlier, but lack of sleep. When I didn't need to get lack of sleep, like I had the whole morning to sleep, but I just couldn't get back to sleep, and it's got me a bit annoyed.
You didn't sleep last night?
Not well. I fell asleep. I actually took a melatonin at midnight. Came back from the show and all that stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna take a melatonin, sleep in, and then did not sleep in. So yeah, I'm now realizing as I'm saying words like, oh man, like is this gonna impact my day?
It will only impact your day if you allow it to, Kirk.
I may allow it. I may allow it to impact my day. It's ticking
You
me
want
off.
you want to be ticked off all day that you want.
I don't want to, but that's so if you're going with the flow and the flow is anger, you may need to let that ride out.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think there are times where if anger is the emotion you feel, you need to let it out. Like sometimes somebody needs to be angered upon. Like if they piss you off, you may need to put hands and feet on them. Sometimes it makes you feel better. If that's your therapy, it's your therapy. That's Mike Tyson's therapy, right? You know?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to condone the violence outside the Muay Thai gym.
Oh,
In which case, if we're in the Muay Thai gym, we're throwing hands, feet, elbows, and knees.
see how quickly you backtrack?
What do you mean backtrack?
I thought we were letting out anger, and next thing you know, you're like, no, I don't want to let out anger. Only in the Muay Thai streets.
It's I'll let out anger, but I'm not going to go around kicking people and all that stuff. It's not the it's you got to kind of manage the anger. There's anger management. Shouts in a movie with Adam Sandler. Property Ebonics. Property Ebonics. Property Ebonics.
Yo, we're in the building.
We are in the building. Yeah, we were in the building last night too. That was nice.
Yeah, you were on the show last night, and I surprised you, and I came to support you.
Support is a interesting word. It seemed like you pulled up to get some stage time. I think that's what that may have been.
you know, you know what's so funny to me? I seen a comedian put a post up the other day, and they were like, sometimes as a comedian, you should just pull up to a show to support the show and not always try to get stage time. I commented, I was like, why the hell would I do that? I, yes, I want to support, but my goal is to perform. Like, there's not a time where I don't. If I'm in a building where there's a stage and a mic, I want to get on there. Like,
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I would say like 99% of the time, if I'm going to a place, even if I'm not on the lineup, I have in back of my mind, like, oh, there's a chance I'll be on stage. I think there's maybe been like maybe one occasion where I was like, I kind of just want to watch. And even in that one, I ended up being on stage. It was like reluctantly getting on stage. I was like, all right, I'll do it. But yeah, that happens too.
no, I'm at a point. It's been years. I'm telling you, if you see me in the building,
Hmm.
there's 100% chance that I'm there to get on the stage. Like, not even like, well, 99%. I would get on. No, no, no. I'm there to get on. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
even like I told you last night. I went to the comedy club. I tried to get on the main show at the comedy club. I mean, yeah, that's why I'm there.
Yours over ambush and comedy shows. Ambush Alan. When was the last time you were at a show and you weren't performing?
It has happened, right? Where I'll go to a show and they'll be like, "We don't have time for you to go on the stage," or like, "You got here late," or like, "We're not confident in our abilities, so we don't want to let you on." Like, I've had that happen. You know what I mean?
They
So
say
it's
that.
like,
That's verbatim.
you know what I mean? So it's like I have been to shows where I haven't performed, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to go to a show just to watch. Nah, I want to perform, and it may sound selfish, but this is how I have to be. I'm sorry to anyone that produces shows and expects a comedian to be their support base.
Hmm. What about have you ever been to say because I think the last time for me It's probably Philly's Funnies finalists, where it's like, oh, I genuinely want to watch this, and I know there's not like it's not like a guest spot situation. I'm pulling up just to watch, and sometimes I get that too. Just like, all right, it's support, but also like I want to be entertained as well. There's times where I still enjoy watching comedy, but I get that part too, though. It's like when you've been so kind of indoctrinated into it, it's like, all right, well, you're there, you pull up, there's a stage, let's get busy.
You enjoy watching it. Can't stand watching some of these niggas perform, bro. It's so cringe. Like bad comedy happens a lot. It makes me cringe worthy. I don't want secondhand embarrassment for some of y'all, so I stay home. But like, yeah, no, like I'm gonna look back on this like 10 years from now. I was like, man, I'm such a jerk. But like right now, where I'm at, how my money works, how the time with my children works, how all these things. I'm not coming to your show just to watch y'all do okay. You know what I mean? If I'm coming to your show, I want to get on stage. So if you see me out at your show, that's why I'm there.
Okay. Nice. No, I can respect it, man. It's I'm on a little bit of a comedy crux, a comedy journey, a comedy issue. I'm still deciding on the word, and I guess it depends on what the resolution looks like in a few weeks. As I may have mentioned before, I'm going to Chicago in about 2 weeks now. Yeah, in 2 weeks I'll be in Chicago. And yeah, I've been making efforts of like reaching out to people and all that stuff and reaching out to shows, finding shows and all that stuff. Submitted to this one thing that was like it looked like almost like a quasi festival. They weren't really very clear on the page for it and haven't really heard nothing back. And much like before when I was going out to Amsterdam and I was having like kind of a similar thing
Yeah,
where I was like, this is kind of crazy. More so for Chicago because it's like, all right, you're kind of up the street.
yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe the people that you're reaching out to don't have are just people that actually run the shows. Like, do you know?
Yeah, so I've been reaching out to like people that run the shows, and like actual like just clubs, sort of like that, which I think is more of the approach like you have like an agent, which I may just like call one of my boys up and be like, yo, pretend to be my agent, send them my credits.
I got an
uh,
agent's name. I act like your agent.
yeah, you do. Massenburg Incorporated. Yeah, that actually, I should have thought of that.
Yeah, there you go. Massenburg Productions. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. You listen to that, Zanies, Massenburg Productions. But yeah, man, it's so that's one thing where I'm a little annoyed because that's one where like I don't think I'm gonna go to a show to watch. Like that's one where I think I'd be actively annoyed sitting at a show just watching, knowing that I reached out to the people and I don't know like what their skill sets are. So they may be amazing. I won't say like they're trash and all that stuff. No, I don't know that. But I will say if I were to go there and it was just kind of blah, I may storm the stage. I may have to storm the stage.
Will Smith over here.
I may have to. May have to. Especially if they catch me not getting a full amount of sleep the night before, I may have to storm the stage. Because that would be a malarkey right there. But yeah, man, it's can you remember the last time that you I feel like this doesn't really happen to you often and you travel a fair amount, but you're making an effort to get on stage somewhere, maybe a particular venue or just a location, and just not really getting much love back. When was the last time anything like that has happened?
It happens all the time. All
Hmm.
the time. You're so the phrase like even this is not even about comedy right now because like even everything in life like you're going to get a million no's before you get the yes and everything. So it's like I may get on shows. I mean shows I don't get on. Like
Right.
I'm talking about I reach out to people. I reach out to people that I've shows I've done before.
Yeah.
Shows run by comedians leave you on red for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So it's like that's gonna happen. But there's so much comedy in Chicago. Like
So,
whether you're booked or not, you'll be performing. Like it's like there's mics every night if you wanted to do that. I'm sure, yeah. We have to just look. So anybody, when this comes out, if you see this and you're in Chicago, you got to get Kirk to perform in 2 weeks.
yeah. So Pat, if you could tag the city of Chicago in this episode's release, that'd be helpful.
You got to tag Michelle Obama. She represents the whole Chicago.
Yeah, the Obamas, they haven't hooked me up either. I have not reached out to the Obamas. Respectfully, I have not reached out to them yet, but maybe that's the route.
you could be a cousin of Obama. You can
Yeah.
Kirk Obama. It's not like a rapper. It's like a rapper's name, Kirk
Kirk
Obama.
Obama. If I ever become a rapper, that is going to be the name switch right there. Kirk Obama. It
Kirk
actually sounds
Obama
kind of
with the
nice.
llama. You don't want no drama.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So I mean, I think we'll after this is over, we can definitely discuss like a plan of attack. I think that
it it may be a plan of attack. No, ideally it would be nice because they have a lot of improv out there. It's like pull up on an improv scene and just be like, would you like some stand up in between your long form improvisation?
they will be like, yes, and you should come on. Okay.
Yes, and you could join us on our team for the last act. What we'll do is that you will do your stand up comedy. Then afterwards, we will act out your stand up comedy. The crowd will go, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. That's what I envision.
That was pretty good. Second City, here you come.
Bruiser Pat, if you could tag Second City in the release of this episode.
Second City. That's how you started. All right, look. So you had the topic that oh shit. I had to charge my phone. That's what I had to really do. My phone was dying, and I have to have my phone charged so we can go through the
That's
topics.
that's
Yes.
well, yeah, I know we're talking about all charge and all that stuff, man. Someone that was maybe a little bit too charged on their phone maybe should have died out. I heard
Mm.
this whole Shannon Sharpe situation. What's going on right there?
Oh, your boy old Shay Shay
Oh my God.
released the audio sex tape.
Man,
I guess he went
that's
live on he went on Instagram live. And you can hear him having sex or whatever. I don't know. I ain't listened to it right. So I guess he said he set his phone down. I don't know. All I know is you gotta click like three buttons to get on Instagram live. So I don't, he said he don't know how we got on there. He don't know what happened or whatever. But he was moaning and groaning and grunting, I guess, with
what?
some lady on Instagram live. Yeah, you can hear it.
Man, were they playing this like on ESPN? It's how do people find out about this?
It was a top 10 countdown. No, I don't, it was just like on live. Shannon Sharpe went live, so people go to Shannon Sharpe's live, and when they clicked on his live, you could just hear him having sex. I guess.
Wow. Has he addressed this in the Shea
Yeah,
Room? Has he?
yeah. No, he came out. He got his. He do his nightcap podcast with Ocho Cinco every day. So like that
Okay.
night, he addressed it or whatever, and talked about like how sad he was, embarrassed he was. He said that he said he cried afterwards, because boo hoo. Like I was so mad he said that he cried because he bro. I was it was funny to me that he said he cried because I feel like he did it on purpose.
Right.
It was
Maybe.
like
Yeah, because something like that, it could seem kind of like, well, like you said, there's like three different buttons you have to press, and it could maybe feel a little intentional, but who knows? He's also like an elder. He's also an elder using technology.
but he not just any other technology. He runs like three podcasts. He do a Zoom every day with ESPN. So it's like, bro, like you're not just your regular 57-year-old, however old he is. I mean, using technology. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, no, like you set that you set it up. Like it wasn't like he went live. I guess like from like the beginning of the act to the end. It was just like it just came on like the middle of the act. I think you know what I mean. So it's like
Oh, wow.
you just press play like while you were in the middle of it. Like what?
He may have been like checking his timer. He could have been doing something like that. And I was like, I gotta adjust the timer, do the stopwatch thing real quick, and then he has big fingers from what I've seen, and it could have been a little switch of the icons and hit live.
Are you saying he hit the button with his penis? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying Shan Sharp?
Not what I'm suggesting, but that also could have happened. And it happens to the best, and when I say the best, I mean the best of us.
I mean, I'm top tier one. I'm one of the best. And it ain't never happened to me. I ain't never accidentally go live.
Uh,
I don't that whole accidentally going live, accidentally uploading something. It's like, no, what do you mean? It ain't like just one. It's like, all right, click next. You want a caption? You want a title? Do you? It's like he's like, no title for this. We're gonna make it seem like a surprise. And like,
that may have been the move right there, man. Also, on the topic of using your penis on the phone. I can't say I've actually done that. It seems like that would be a lot of germs. I think we're not going to get prop suggestions yet, but clean your phone. That's a lot of germs on your phone.
COVID was when I first started to really clean my phone. Like I would take the sanitizer spray, spray
Hmm.
my phone down, and wipe it down. The phone is the most dirty thing. Period.
Um, I was given a phone yesterday, and it's no disrespect to the person. I was like, oh, like it made sense because like kind of popping in a number, whatever. Then midway through, I was like, damn, we're touching someone else's phone right now. What?
Right after they use the bathroom.
Come on, man. I did go wash my hands afterwards, so yeah. But that's something to keep in mind, though. But Shannon Sharpe, I don't know if he's feeling super remorseful now. I don't know what we're going to see on the next podcast, what he's accidentally going to record and put on YouTube. It was like, yo, it was a mistake. I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know who this lady involved is. Maybe he's remorseful of who the partner was. Who knows?
This part really annoyed me, right? Because now you got these Instagram investigators trying to figure out who this lady is.
Well,
So I guess in the tape he mentioned the name Michelle or something like that. So like now you got people going through his people he follows, trying to find this Michelle character. Like it's mad weird. And then people actually found a woman whose name was Michelle, right?
Michelle.
And they were taking her pictures off of her page, posting it online, like
What?
this is the woman, right? Yeah, like the woman's online, like this is not me. Like
Yeah,
it's not
that's
me. Everybody's like, oh, this is her. It's like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's a wild. I never thought about that. I've never dated anyone, Michelle, although my first kiss was with a girl named Michelle. Uh, the idea of saying Michelle in a sexual way, I never thought about that. It seems like too many syllables.
Well, if that's their name,
Yeah, but it just, like, are you moaning Michelle? I don't know. It just seems like it does seem natural. I don't think it's
listen,
Michelle.
I don't care. I don't care if her name is Respucia Tina. I'm gonna say the whole thing. That's her name. I'm gonna say the whole name.
Wow.
Respucia Tina. You know what I mean, but yeah. So I thought I thought that part was nasty though. People were taking this lady's picture, saying she's some lady on some audio sex tape, and it's not even her. She's like a whole 50-year-old woman with a family, probably. You know what I mean?
Uh,
They were taking the sexiest pictures off her page. Like, look at her. She got a nice butt. This must be her.
Oh
Like,
my goodness, man. It's well, Vlad TV, I'm sure you're gonna get to the bottom of this. And you're gonna be able to give us some education on who Shannon Sharpe was having live relations with. I didn't watch this. I saw a lot of people posting about it, some people commenting on it. You made a post about that was notable, just like who's rushing to go see that? Who's really digging that up to like, I want to hear what this is about?
the
It's
part. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I do think that's a notable aspect of it. Of like, oh yeah, I'm really gonna like dig in to find the Shannon Sharpe sex audio.
The part that I thought was interesting was that it was like I see a lot of men posting like, "Oh, Shannon said this, and sounded like this," and like they like knew like detail, and I was like, "Wait, you had your ear to the phone like the whole time? Like what? Like it's crazy." So what happened? This is how I found out about the thing, right? One of my Facebook friends posted like, "Yo, Shannon Sharpe on Instagram Live tripping," right? So when I get to Twitter, like the first tweet was like, "Yo, Shannon Sharpe on live," and I clicked on it, and I heard a moan, and I clicked out. I clicked right out. I was like, Shannon Sharpe in a moan. I clicked right out. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't want any parts of this. Like, so as the day went on, and everybody's like, "Oh, he said this word. Her name is this." I'm like, bro, wait, you you knew that was a Shannon Sharpe thing, sex thing, and you was like, I want to go hear it. What
Wow.
happened to us? What happened to us men? We used to be hunters and gatherers and providers. We used to make tools with our hands. Now we're rushing to Instagram Live to hear Shannon Sharpe have sex with some 50-year-old lady. Like, come on, man, what are we doing, man?
What's when you hear about the idea of ASMR and such, and people get fascinated by these celebrity sex tapes and such. Perhaps it's in the same league as that. It's an audio form of a celebrity sex tape, and the fellas they want some tips.
Some tips
They want some
from
tips.
I don't want no tips. Listen, hey, listen. We're losing as men. We're losing recipes. Okay, we're losing it because now it said like a female celebrity. Now they were like Tracy Ellis Ross moaning on Instagram Live. I'm
Well,
clicking on that because I want to
really?
hear it. I would like to hear her, but there's nothing that I've. Shannon Sharpe's voice is not even. Oh, like what are we doing here, bro? Why would y'all go listen to that? It's beyond me.
Yeah, it's very much the voice of like Cookie Monster's uncle. So it could be. I feel like it'd be kind of a rough one. I've not listened to the sex audio one. I'm not too curious about it. I was about to say I'm curious to hear what he has to say. I guess not so much. I'm not too curious about what he has to say. I don't. The live function of Instagram is one that I don't really rock with too much. Like I don't think I've ever like because there was a lot of live ones, especially during COVID, where it
Yeah,
was like you feel kind of trapped in once you go in, especially like if it's like someone you like know. It just feels like, all right, now we're on a phone call. I can't just like leave here, sort of like that. I feel like I'm in a conversation with you, and it'd be rude if I left, sort of thing.
at that point you gotta just tell me, yo, man, it's just me and you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out. Call me if you want to finish this conversation. You can call me later.
Yeah, man. And sometimes you gotta go because there's other things happening and there's other things that you want to watch, perhaps debate. And this week is a very big week in terms of the presidential election, as we had in here in Philadelphia, the presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
Yeah,
And I
man.
think this is the first debate that I've seen, like presidential debate, where neither of the candidates are the president.
Okay, I can see that.
Actually, well, all right. So wait, I take that back. So when Hillary and Donald were running, so no, sorry. When it's we just haven't seen one of those in a while. But like, I guess it just trips me up the idea that like Kamala being the VP and like just Biden not being there. I don't know something about that. It's just like, oh, that's wild. But did you watch the debate at all?
Man, I got my popcorn ready. I watched the whole thing. I couldn't wait.
Same. Yeah.
I love that kind of content.
Yeah, man. This was, I think, highly anticipated by a lot because there was debate as to whether it was even going to happen. And then the week of, I find out it's in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
It
cool.
make it makes sense. They're trying to do a lot in PA because it's a battleground state. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is a very important state. Like they want to whoever win this state could possibly win the presidency. So it's like they want to
No,
get the action there. And Philadelphia is a historical city. It's the very first capital city of America. If you don't know that, um,
I didn't.
before it became DC. It's
I was going to
just
say Kiss Me Florida, but if you say it's Philadelphia, I'll take your word.
actually Philadelphia, Mississippi was the first. No,
Damn,
but
I was
there
going
is
to
a
say
Philadelphia,
that
Mississippi.
too.
It's a real place.
Philadelphia, Mississippi. Shout out to David Banner. But yeah, this is one of the ones where one fully engaged in the whole debate. Like sometimes, like you'll watch them, like the last one with Trump and Biden. That was engaging too. This one though was like I was paying attention to words. I was like, what are they going to say, and what are their views on this? Particularly for Kamala sort of thing, where I feel like I haven't really, and maybe part of my doing too, I haven't really heard too much from her in terms of her views and just getting more familiar with like how she kind of conveys her thoughts.
Yeah,
And I thought she did great. I thought
yeah,
she was had a lot of pose and all that stuff. Like she was solid. Like it was really because I feel like with Trump, you kind of know what you're going to get with him. We've seen him in like countless debates and just him speaking as a whole. So you kind of know what's going to happen there. Kind of like with the Biden one and Trump, whereas like you knew what Trump was going to do. It was more so we didn't know how Biden was going to be. In this case,
yeah.
I feel like we weren't sure how Kamala was going to perform, and I thought she did stellar.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't care what she said. I did not care what. I don't care what she talked about.
Hmm.
And only thing I would be mad about is she said I hate black people and I want slavery to come back. That's the only thing. Listen, I don't care what she was saying up there. I knew that she was gonna go. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I said it before.
She could have said a few things that would have been noteworthy for me if she was like, in my administration, comedy could only take place during the daytime. I'd be like, all right, well, that's notable. That's who knows? She may get my vote on that one because it's kind of convenient. You get to go home at 8 o'clock. That's kind of nice. But there's a few things where I'd be like, all right. The one thing I would say that wasn't crazy about. I think she's still perhaps getting used to like kind of like that big platform in terms of like the presidential
Yeah,
context of things. The one stance on kind of like if you're buying a home, I think it was like you get, I forgot what the number was, but it was like, I think it was like you get like $10,000 or something like that.
yeah,
And there's a few things that were like a lot of like just like tax credits. And there's a segment in it where it was like, we're going to give you this. And it was a lot of just like monetary benefits.
yeah.
And that was the one aspect that I was thinking like, all right, if this is the plan, maybe that is something that perhaps could have been explored during this current administration. Like, why would that be a thing that's going to happen in this new administration if you're already in the administration that's currently there? So that part felt a little hucksterish to me, but everything else, like in terms of like how she countered things, her stance on like abortions and Roe v. Wade, I thought she had just like stellar, felt like sincere approaches to it.
I think that it's unfair to say that she didn't get something done in her presidency that Trump also didn't get done in his presidency. So it's like he says things that he's going to do that he didn't do during while he was the actual president.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that's not to say that one is doing over the other. No, of course not. I think one of the criticisms that people give Kamala is that like, oh well, if you're going to like you're already there. Why aren't these changes already happening? Which I don't think is completely valid. Like especially when she's VP and there's so many different moving pieces within administration. This is indeed going to be a new administration, but that was one part where I thought like, okay, well, some of that could be implemented right now, right?
You just said you don't like when people do what you just did.
What I do.
You said that she's only the VP and it's not fair how people say that she can't get things done. But you just said some of the things that she said during the debate she didn't get done and during the presidency during this last stint as vice
I
president.
I did say that. I did.
So I,
I guess I mean in this aspect where it's like, all right, if you're promising like monetary benefits to the people, it I guess for me that's the one part that resonated where it's like, okay, well that I guess that could have happened during like right now. It felt especially I guess when it comes to like a monetary benefit,
yeah,
it feels very much like a hook to get people in, sort of like that. Oh, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, and that was when I guess it occurred. It felt like oh well, that's what's to say that couldn't have happened during this current administration. And there could be X, Y, and Z reasons as to why not that I'm not aware of, sort of thing. But I guess that's the part that stood out to me that I was definitely more questionable about.
yeah, I feel like she is just not in the position to make changes like that as a vice president. Like honestly, the president just can't do certain things. They got to go through voting processes through the Senate and the House and all those things. You know what I mean? So I think that ideas are new. Meaning it's like she's in vice president mode, right? Doing what her duties are with the border and whatever she's doing, right? Now she's like, okay, when I become president, I can do these things that I've been thinking about, or now I have the power to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's why they say things like that. Now, I will say this. I think that she might have, sometimes politicians just say whatever they want to say so they can get in office, and none of these things ever come to fruition, right? That's what it be. But she had to mention giving away money because there's so many people so hyped that Trump gave them $1,200 still, and they're like, when Trump was in office, I got $1,200. So she's like, okay, when I get in office, this is the money that I give y'all, people that can only think small minded. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's part of the reason why she said that off the rip. Because like I think the question was about the economy, and her first thing was like, all right, look, I'm giving y'all money. So the people that just want money, they're like, oh yeah, I'm voting for her. That's what it was. So
Yeah,
we got to see some real actions with these words, no matter. I mean, if she gets in, you know what I mean. So it's like that's the real thing. Say you tell us whatever you want while you're running. But when you get in that office, what you really gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Are you going to be able to execute, or is it more so going to be a concept of a plan? Are you going to have a concept of a plan? When he said that, that was one of the. I was just catching that right away. Like, did he say concept of a plan?
but
Sometimes it feels like Trump knowingly says it, as in like, oh, this is like a humorous thing to say. Like, I
no,
feel like he taps into, maybe subconsciously or not, but like that kind of entertainer part of himself. Where like, this would actually be kind of entertaining. Uh,
I don't
concept of
think
plan
that
was a fun one.
I don't think that he meant to do that. Like the moderator, she really backed him into a corner, like because she was asking him about Obamacare, and while when Obama came up with Obamacare from the beginning, he was against it. But then when he became president, he didn't like get rid of it or make any changes. Like he kept it in place.
Right.
So she was asking him about that. Like you kept it in place, but you talk shit on it. Dude, what's your plan? He was trying to dance around it. Like he was trying to like. But what I was saying, he didn't have a whole plan. He was like, "Well, I have a concept of a plan." Oh, it was
That is a great phrase of words right there. I enjoyed that concept of a plan. That's next time I go to an open mic sort of thing, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've there's been many times where I like drive up to a place like I got a concept of a plan. I don't, which is suitable for comedy performances, for presidential administrations, maybe a little more questionable. And they did. What did you think about the moderators? We mentioned that. So we had two moderators. It was CNN. I don't recall their full names right
I think it
now.
was ABC. Was it ABC?
Was it ABC? Sorry, it was ABC. My fault. Um, did you sense any sort of like bias with them, or did you feel like it was pretty fair?
So at first, I heard someone say that they were biased, meaning they were on Kamala's side because they kept like fact checking Trump and like questioning everything that he said. But then I was like, wait, that's because she wasn't lying. So it's like
Hmm.
there's no need to like fact check the things that she was. She didn't say that people were eating animals. You know what I mean? So there was no need to say anything there. So
Forgot about that.
he kept getting cut off by the moderators because he kept saying crazy lies. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
didn't
So
know that was a thing that was happening. Sometimes you get tapped into like, oh, like there's people that are probably very familiar with that idea that cats and pets are being eaten. I've never heard of this. So to hear that and then see that it's like a kind of like a known conspiracy or who knows thing that's happening. It's that was kind of a wild thing. Uh, I don't have any issue with like fact checking sort of thing like that. There was one exchange, and I don't remember exactly the topic for it. It may have been actually with the regarding the immigration and like the eating of pets, where the dude, I'm blank. It's not Jake Taper, right? It's some other guy.
yeah, I don't think that's him.
He's a very familiar face, very conventionally attractive. There, I said it. And he's been around for a while, but like he had one where it's kind of like a back and forth with Trump, and like my whole thing is like I get that, especially if Trump's saying some wild stuff, but I feel like in that sort of thing, if he's going to say wild stuff, let him say the wild stuff and let people, the viewers, kind of interpret it on their own sort of thing. Because, like, if you as a moderator start to give pushback in that way, where it starts getting a little bit more combative, it kind of inflames like the kind of conservative rights or like Trumper people, the idea that like, oh, it's nonstop bias towards them or against them, which I'd say is true. Like they are like biased against them, sort of like that, whether that's right or wrong. But I think like if you're doing like a presidential debate, let that ride out, and then people they could use their logic to determine. Like you don't have to step in that way. So I wasn't crazy about that.
So if when Trump said people were eating cats and dogs, the immigrants were eating cats and dogs in Springfield, the guy should have said nothing.
I don't think he should maybe said nothing. I think fact check, but don't do it in a way that's like kind of like don't get zesty. As a moderator, I think don't make it a biased thing. And I'm not saying that's like don't like I'm not saying like oh yeah, you have to like be on one other side. I'm saying the opposite. Like be down the line. That way the people could say they can't combat it with the idea that like oh yeah, they're biased against them. Because that's the one thing we're seeing now with a lot of conservatives of like Trump he lost that because of how biased everyone was, which I don't think was the case. I think Kamala Harris was just much more prepared and posed. But now they have that. as something that they could say and something that he could say for his voters, like, oh yeah, it's a bias institution.
I think we have to realize that no matter what, they're going to have something to say. Somebody's going to have something to say, negative and positive, about everything. Right? You want
Yeah.
to find it bad in it, you will. You want to find it good in it, you will. I think that when a guy said like, "Yo, people in Springfield are eating cats and dogs," and then the moderator says, "We've checked with the city manager and he denied that claim," and then Trump goes on it like, "No, I see it." He's like, "Sir, but we denied the claim."
Yeah. That part I thought was fine. Yeah, because I do recall that exchange. Like it's like that's a neutral fact checking, like, oh yeah, we checked in with this sort of thing like that. I think that's okay. I think that's needed with those debates.
I think it was interesting though. I thought this was funny though that they already had the facts checked on the crazy things that he was going to say. So it was like they already knew that was coming.
They're like, all right, he may mention the whole eating pets thing. It's yeah, that's a there was two of the things that I thought were notable that were not mentioned, and it occurred to me that maybe they're saving these topics for the vice presidential debate. Was gun ownership, like gun violence in America, which like you think that would be like a big one,
Oh no,
especially
Kamala said it. Kamala brought up. She said that her and Tim
br-
was distracted.
briefly. Yeah, she didn't say it like that, but briefly she
She
did
had
mention.
bang on them. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the chamber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One in the head.
She got that Oogie Yaga block on her. That was notable, and I thought it was it was a good move to note, like, oh yeah, we're not anti-guns, we're gun owners ourselves. But they didn't really speak on like to say like the shootings that happened or like what sort of like what the plan was in terms of gun ownership in America and gun control. And perhaps that's something that they're going to say for the vice presidential one. Same for like student loans. I feel like that's like a pretty big thing for a lot of voters, and that wasn't really touched on. I know Trump mentioned it briefly in a rebuttal, but it occurred to me afterwards, like, oh, they'll probably save some topics. Um,
I don't think the Republicans have a plan to get rid of student loans.
no, I don't think so. Yeah,
But
and
I think
debatably, neither do the Democrats either.
well, the Democrats have been knocking people's student loans off like for the last 3 years. Like,
Yeah, I've actually so at first I thought it was like a kind of like a myth or something that kept getting postponed, but I know some people now that have like had some of their stuff, if not all, but some of it knocked off, and it's like, oh, I guess some progress is being made in that way.
like I think the plan. I think Biden came out and was like, "Yo, they're gonna we're wiping student loans out. If you got debt, we're taking care of it, right? Debt across the board, and that's not what happened, right? There's a you got to Google. There's an amount of money. There's like $1 billion that they cleared from people's student loan debt. So there are people
Yeah,
that like not everybody, but there are people that did. I mean, so
yeah,
I guess it's better than nothing. I guess. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Well, yeah. Well, so I think for a lot of institutes that are now kind of defunct or they weren't, they were saw as like having like kind of like fraudulent practices. A lot of those have been taken away. We have a mutual friend who had his wiped completely.
oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, all right, that's all right, so that's cool in that way. But it's something I was surprised that they didn't touch on during. So yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye out for the Tim Walz, JD Vance one, sort of thing like that, and see what sort of things are talked about.
Interesting. That'd be good. Did you see immediately after the debate, your girl Taylor Swift came out and endorsed Kamala immediately after.
I did see that, yeah, man. So like, she made like a post, and I guess it's led like a ton of people, which makes sense. It's not too surprising that way, but a ton of people have registered to vote afterwards. And there's a part of me that was like, kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's cool that she's making this statement, all that stuff, but it doesn't really impact me, sort of thing like that. I was kind of like, whatever about it. Then it kind of like occurred to me a little bit more of like, all right, well, that's like for a lot of people, that is going to be a pretty big influence on whether side they're voting on, sort of thing. Like, obviously, it's probably going to lean a little bit more towards the left. But in terms of like getting people exposed to it and like people that maybe were apathetic, but they're a huge like Swift fan, and now it's like, all right, well, she brought that awareness to the top of my mind. I'll at least register. I think that's a good thing.
Well, how do you feel about the Swifties that are on the other side of the spectrum, like the right leaning Swifties? Like, They're like, "Oh, I love Taylor Swift." Wait, you're endorsing the person I'm not voting for? Like,
They're probably hella confused right now. Hella confused.
I
It's
seen I seen people online like comment like, "You'll never get another album sell out of me."
oh goodness. Can you imagine that? Like that's like your favorite artist. You're listening to them nonstop. It's the only person you listen to, and then that's the game changer. It's the one where it's like,
I would be heartbroken if OJ the Juice Man is a Trump supporter.
yeah, yeah, that would be kind of wild. I'm trying to think like it. I don't know if it would surprise me too much with rappers. Like I'm thinking of like some of my favorite rappers, and
I
I don't
mean,
think Ghostface is like a Trumper, but like if Ghostface is like, "Yo, I'm voting Trump," and he came up the MAGA hat, I'd be more like kind of like questionable. But I don't know if it would like I would be like jaw on the ground sort of thing like that.
I ain't gonna lie, some Ghostface MAGA bars probably hot.
Probably, yeah, well, he
Got the
probably.
red MAGA hat on, medallion swinging.
You ever done a Ghostface impression before? That was good.
Never had
I couldn't tell if you were doing Ghostface.
jewelries blinging.
Or...
I'm sorry.
oh my goodness, man! Mega hat swang down to my torn meniscus. Shout out to Ghostface, man. Uh,
Yeah, man. But I think I don't know. It's interesting though because a lot of celebrities, a lot of entertainers, they don't say nothing because they don't want to upset half of their fan base or the other. Because like you want everybody to buy your stuff. Like even shoot, I watched the Breakfast Club interview the other day. Kevin Hart was on there and they were talking about politics. Kevin Hart said it. He was like, "I am not saying anything. I want everybody. I want everybody to go watch my new movie."
that's that's yeah, I did Kevin Hart. I feel like this side note, Kevin Hart was yeah, I feel like he's always kind of got like a little bit of like backlash here and there. But there's been like these things I've been seeing around of like, if you see these people in a movie, that's code for I'm switching. And I'm like, Kevin Hart's consistently good. Kevin Hart's consistently good at movies and he's still phenomenal at stand up. Let Kevin Hart be. That's my take on Kevin Hart.
What do they mean? I'm switching. Switching what? Switching like,
Like they're saying they're not gonna watch it. Like,
oh,
they're like, I'm not gonna watch Jumanji. It's like, all right, don't watch Jumanji.
Kevin Hart aside, it's a great storyline. Like,
I've I've heard the reboot was very good.
oh, would you not? Listen, I'm not one. I'm not gonna lie, yo. Since we talked about Kevin Hart, we brought it up. I I very very much strongly dislike when people say Kevin Hart isn't funny. Like
Yeah,
that sentence should never come out of anyone's mouth. Like, I don't care if you don't like this that he does or like how he does this. You can't say that that man ain't funny. Like, come on, man.
yeah. Well, that just goes with bold statements in general too. It's like I feel like maybe there's performers now too. Like if there's like a comic that I don't find funny, sort of thing like that, I recognize it's like, oh, I don't find them funny versus like they're not funny.
Right,
That's a wild say to say someone who's like doing stadiums and doing theaters consistently
right.
isn't like I just there's a difference. Just say like, oh, I don't find them funny versus like it's convictions. I won't get on the whole thing about how I feel about the word should and convictions in public settings, but yeah, I feel like that applies for a lot of the hate towards Kevin Hart, and Taylor Swift as well. So she's made this endorsement, and are your daughters? They're of the age and all that stuff. Are they Swifties? They're ever more. I don't know the album.
Swift.
Are they 1989? It's they
My
bad
daughter's
blood.
too. My daughter's too black for that. They not. No, we're not Swifty over here. We listen to Glorilla because we gangsters over here.
Okay, all right. It's
Playing those Swifties in my. I wish they would try to. Hey, Dad, can you put on the new Taylor Swift album? They better get out of my car. I better walk. What are you talking about?
it's
No, we
that's
no.
one thing I was actually curious about because I don't know how like is Taylor Swift prominent with like black teen girls? I don't know.
No,
Well,
no, dog. I have never. I'm. I have two teenage girls. They have friends. That is not a topic. We do not talk or like listen to Taylor Swift. Like, nah, bro. Maybe not. I feel like my kids is too black for that. Maybe listen to like old R&B music from like Erica Badu and stuff. They're not listening to like, yeah, I don't know. I
yeah,
haven't.
it's just nonstop Missy Elliott.
If you work it, I mean, put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. It's Jean from number four. Yeah, come on. Yeah, it's more like that. Yeah, I'm not. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know Taylor Swift songs to make a funny reference. Like
It's,
I'm trying to think of one. I can't think of one.
bro, I got a few. She has that song, Blank Space. I do enjoy that song thoroughly. I like that song a lot.
You want to sing it? You can just tell me a title.
Nah, play. You're gonna have to look that one up. Look at the
I
video
won't.
to get a chance too.
No, that's not gonna be my search history. No.
Okay. She had that new video Fourth Night. Oh, that was good too. I enjoyed that. It was very synth heavy.
So we know who you're voting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that, man, we'll see. We're gonna get some more updates. We're I think, less than 50 days away from the election. The last time on election day, or the day after, rather, we found out who the winner was while recording this. So who knows? Perhaps we'll get another duplicate of that. But in the meantime, let's get some proper suggestions.
Top suggestions.
I'll do two short ones. They're both movie ones. Since my birthday, I've been on a movie tip. I feel like I've watched like 10 movies in the last month. And it wasn't like this thing where I was like, I'm gonna set a goal to do it. Bruce Patches plays like the last episode, and the goal was watch more movies. But two movies I want to recommend to the people. First one is going to be Trap by M. Night Shyamalan. Uh, this is the movie with Josh Hartnett coming back and in the leading role of it, and it's pretty much a man taking his daughter to go see a pop singer in Philadelphia. And then he realizes while there that there's so much security and a lot of like police presence. And ultimately, the police have conducted this plan to set up a trap for a known serial killer in the area. And they got a heads up that serial killer is going to be coming to the show. So they set up a whole trap so that he cannot leave this venue. The thing, though, and I'm not spoiling anything, they showed in the trailer, Josh Hartnett's character, who's there with his daughter, he's the serial killer. So the whole movie is him. We kind of see him as like the protagonist in a way. Like we kind of almost want to see how he's going to get out of this situation because he plays a very charming, charismatic guy who's loving his daughter and being there for her. So it's a very just interesting perspective. And I thought it was just, I mean, people say M. Night Shyamalan hits and misses. I thought this one was a huge hit. Like this one, like I was fully enthralled in this. It was a good cinematic experience, and I'm very grateful for it.
Platform.
What's up?
What platform you see it on?
I saw it in movie theaters. I was hyped for it. Yeah. Yeah, it was the Bridgeport movie theater in Regal in Bridgeport. So it was a good showing.
The people listening, you don't have to go to that particular movie theater, but you can go to a movie theater and check it out.
Yeah, it was scarce. Like they may be taking it out of theaters, so you may have to go to Bridgeport. You may have to do that. If you're in Maryland right now, check out Delco. And this other recommendation I want to give to the people. This one's called Kinds of Kindness. Have you heard of this before?
I have not.
So I butch the director's name all the time. He's one of my favorite directors, Yorgos Lanthimos. Bruce Bad, you can fact check me on that one, but he's a Greek director. He did Poor Things, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and this movie is essentially, I won't say anything what this movie is about because I think it's the best to go into this not knowing anything. That's how I did it. But if you are familiar with this guy's work, and if you're a fan of the people that are in it, or even if you're not, if you're unaware of who they are, this is an absurd movie. It's a curious movie. It's an eerie movie. It's 3 different stories, and I highly recommend it.
This is also a movie theater?
No, this one, Hulu and Amazon, I think it's on, but saw it for free on Hulu, and it was solid.
Yeah, you can get that Hulu month, that first month free. Watch that movie, then you can cancel.
That's true. You can take that approach. I lucked out my phone plan for whatever reason. They give me free Hulu. Free Hulu, nice. Free Disney. And I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Phone bill must be $400, but that's nice.
Come on, man. You know your boy's not falling into that trap. Come on.
All right. Here you go. So my proper suggestion is a book.
What?
Um, it's a book by Wallow. Wallow on Instagram is Wallow267 is his page. He put a book out called Armed with Good Intentions. Wallow is a ex felon. He did 20 years in jail. He
Yeah.
is the cousin of Gilly the Kid,
Oh,
and they have a podcast. You should know about it. It's called $1 Million Worth of Game.
okay.
He's like a motivational speaker nowadays. So he talks about what he's been through and how black boys fall in the traps of going to jail and fall into what they think society wants them to be. So this is a good book to tell you about his story, and like it's motivation. So it's like that's how he became like famous though. Like he got out of jail and was like doing motivational videos, stuff like that, and like blew up. So now he just dropped his first book. So yeah, I think you got to check it out. It's called Armed with Good Intentions.
Armed with good intentions, man. I know of the podcast that Gilly the Kid does. I haven't really checked it for it like that, but man, shout out to Gilly. I know he was like he did a lot of ghostwriting and all that, and just a Philly icon in a lot of ways too. So yeah, check that out.
It's funny. My little brother was in jail with Wallow. It was
What?
yeah. He was like, "What?" He's like, "That's Wallace."
That's, did he help ghostwrite the book?
No, 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 no. It was they're out of jail by now. He's been out of jail for a minute, but
Oh.
he actually did the forward. No, I'm just kidding.
Did that blog for it. Yeah, nice man. I always appreciate a good book recommendation. So that's solid, man. Something that a lot of people appreciate. People they love their football. They're a big fan of the football. They throw the ball, the person catches it, they wave their hands in the air. And a lot of times during the big game, there's a Super Bowl halftime show. The people after they throw the ball, they set the field up. They put a whole stage up. People dance, and the people there's fire pits and all that stuff. It's crazy. And it was announced that for 2025 Super Bowl, the performer is going to be Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, from yeah, man, and people are excited about it, and some people have adverse reactions to it. Notably, with the idea that instead of Kendrick Lamar, it's being held in New Orleans, and people would have preferred if a New Orleans native, Lil Wayne, did the halftime show. Do you have any particular thoughts on this, or have you heard any rumblings of this?
So this is one thing that I think is a problem with social media is people don't think for themselves, right? So I'm saying what happens. When I first heard the news, I was like, "Cool, this is dope. Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl. It's gonna be lit." That was it. And then I like get online and like people are like mad, like it should be Lil Wayne. And in my brain, I was like, well, it is in New Orleans. Like
Yeah,
that would be cool. But so it's like, but so it's just interesting though how like my brain didn't even compute that Lil Wayne and like, I just thought like Kendrick,
same.
that's cool. That's cool. So it's like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like I could see how join in New Orleans and Lil Wayne that will go hard. I can see that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But it's so yeah, so I don't know. So it's like my initial thought was like, oh, this is dope. You know what I mean?
yeah. I was same because when people were saying like Jay Z didn't ask Lil Wayne, which I forgot that I guess Jay Z is still like the producer of the halftime show, and Kendrick last time he was on the halftime show was like when Jay Z had like Dr. Dre, Eminem, and 50 Cent out and all that stuff. When they were saying that he should have asked Lil Wayne, I was like, oh, that's random. And then it occurred to me, oh, he's from the area and all that. I don't know. Has Lil Wayne made like a statement saying like, man, I wanted to do this?
Lil Wayne came out yesterday saying made a whole video on live. He was like,
Um,
I'm hurt. This is something I wanted. But the audience made me feel better because what did he say? He said I wasn't prepared to be let down. Like he wanted to do this. Like he really wanted. He had like one dread hanging. It was like he really wanted to do this, and he was hurt
I
that he
think,
didn't get
oh man, Instagram Live is popping this week. That's yeah, I didn't. So I'm sad, a little Wayne sad. What I would have preferred, what I think I would have preferred in this one. Ooh, but I guess it can't really happen. I was gonna say an ideal state. Kendrick Lamar, he's doing the Super Bowl show, and then he brings out Lil Wayne. However, Lil Wayne, very good friends with Drake, and Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they have a notable beef going on. So I don't know if that could happen.
it can't happen. And that's why people were speculating that. That's part of the reason why Lil Wayne didn't get the call because the people were saying that Jay-Z got beef with Drake,
Oh,
and it was a lot of behind the scenes politics stuff going on, and like I, we do it to ourselves, bro. Like I think Kendrick doing it. I don't think us saying anything on Twitter gonna make the NFL change their mind.
no. Probably that'd be wild. That'd be bonkers.
Yeah.
Like,
So
imagine doing that for like non-hip hop acts too. Of like, we don't want Pink, we want Shakira, and then just seeing if they change it. Uh,
we want Eve. We want Eve.
that would be sick. That would be sick.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like, man, we gotta pick our battles, bro. Like the Super Bowl has been trash for so many years. Like,
Like the halftime show.
yeah, the halftime show has been trash for so many years.
Really?
Jay Z came in and started lighting it on fire, bro. We had Snoop Dogg crip walking on stage because Jay Z in them.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that when the halftime shows typically good. I like the Usher one last year, the one
Jay
before.
Z, Jay Z, Jay Z. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Before Jay
Prince did a cool
Z,
one. Bruno Mars did a cool one. Prince, solid one.
Prince for sure. But Bruno Mars,
I would actually Katy Perry I thought had a sick one about like probably 10 years from now. But yeah, I remember her as being like that was cool. She brought Missy Elliott out.
I don't remember.
Uh,
I remember Missy. I do
yeah,
remember Missy being on stage. I remember that.
yeah. So I mean, but yeah, I get that. I get the sentiment though. Do you think it's going to be a lot of "They Not Like Us"? Because that's like Kendrick's like mega hit.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they made. This is going to happen, and we can look at this back months from now. They're going to play the instrumental.
Yeah,
It'll
I
be
think
like a be like a live marching band.
yeah,
It's not, but it's not going to be like,
I think
hey,
they'll tease it.
I heard you like I'm young. Like no,
It's yeah, that would be wild. That's and Bruce about the NFL won't love the pedophile song. It's wild to refer to that as the pedophile song, but I guess it kind of is the pedophile song. Uh, that no, I think you're right. I think it would be kind of redundant. I think it, but who knows? I'm not. They have their artistic choices and they know what they're doing, sort of thing like that. Would society feel bad for Drake in some ways? Of like, oh man, it feels like as a society we're on the grandest stage, we're clowning on Drake. Is it too much clowning? Are we talk about this whole anti-bullying thing? If we is the world bullying Drake?
oh my gosh, you can't flip it on. He deserves to be bullied. It's not like he's some innocent bystander. Bullies are people that pick on people that don't deserve it.
Okay, yeah.
This guy
You're saying he's a certified lover boy.
yeah, he deserved it. I heard him like I'm young. He deserves it.
Oh goodness. Well, here's see. You know what would be bonkers? Bonkers. I don't want to spoil anything because I think this could happen. Kendrick Lamar brings Drake out. What?
Can't happen. Can't happen.
Really?
It can't happen. I, that man called him a pedophile.
Certified.
And you gonna come dance next to him?
Damn.
No.
Yeah, that could end tragically. That could end tragically if he brings Drake out. Drake, especially if he didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. It's like, oh my god, I'm angry.
That's why I was mad about them mentioning this whole Lil Wayne thing because now that eliminates the possibility of Wayne coming out now. Like Kendrick could have brought him out on let Wayne do a song or two on his performance, but I don't think now Lil Wayne's gonna take the background and be somebody's feature. You know what I mean?
No, well, I could see Lil Wayne being involved in a collaboration like that because when you have someone like Lil Wayne, it's not even like background. It's like, yeah, we're collaborating at this point. I don't know what his relationship with Drake is like now, but I feel like they're pretty tight. So I feel like on that end, probably not going to come out.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying, but we'll see. February, whatever it is,
Yeah,
it'll be Eagles versus somebody. I don't know.
I was going to say, who are your predictions for who will be is going to make it?
I'll say Eagles for sure because why not?
Okay.
Versus I don't know Chiefs. Chiefs always go. Why not? Why not
Okay.
again?
I'm rooting for the Dolphins. We get the Dolphins in the mix. I want to see that happen. I like the
Yeah,
colors.
as long as their star wide receiver don't get arrested no more outside of the game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So I didn't know that was for the Dolphins, but I knew that there was a player that got arrested outside of the game. And then during the game, did a touchdown and did an arrest emoticon sort of thing. Like he pretended like he was getting arrested. I was like, that's a wild move.
You just call a touchdown celebration a emoticon.
Is that how they do? Is that like when you're playing a game, you press up and it's like then they do the thing where they tease the opponent?
It's not wrong, but it's right.
They're emoting.
Emo- it's not wrong. I just never heard that a touchdown celebration described as that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, 2024, man.
Yes.
But with that, man, we're gonna dip out soon. You know, you boys got a children's birthday party to attend,
You
and
do?
yeah, I'm going to. There's like up the street, Dijon and her crew. One of the girls are having a birthday party. I think it's like Pokemon themed, so I'm gonna wear yellow. And I got some UFC later on. The Spear, Bruce Pat. I hope you get to watch it too. So yeah, man, it's
I mean, let me break something down for you because you're new to this.
well,
There's a theme. It's for the kids.
what?
The theme is for the birthday party is for the kids. It's not,
Yeah, I'm
you
saying
don't
that
gotta
like
get
kind of.
dressed up like Pikachu.
I'm not gonna like dress up like full costume, but I may have like little hints to kind of blend in with the theme.
No, man. Go
That's the
exact
move right
opposite.
there.
Go the exact opposite of the theme. You're not a part of the theme, bro. You play the background. Let the kids do the theme. They'll be like, watch, all the other parents is gonna be like wearing like regular button up shirts and shorts. You're gonna
Yeah,
be the
I'm,
only
I'm
guy there.
saying I'm not really dressed up like a bee, but if I have a flannel that has like yellow and black on it, it's like, all right, that kind of reminds you of Pokemon, right?
Yeah, do your thing, Kirk. Do your thing, bro. Rock out.
I will do my thing. Yeah, man. But
Pokemon cards with you.
oh my goodness. As always, man, always good chatting. And for everyone listening that has made it, we appreciate it. We like your listenership and all that stuff. Keep doing it and all that. And yeah, like, subscribe, get around to finishing your copy of the Bros Karazimov. And yeah, shout out to Andy Malfrina. Yeah, he's got that in the mix too. Check his stuff out. Him and Pat George's podcast. Check them out too. Thanks for listening.
Peace.